Hello, this is part 4 of chapter 16 on the reproductive system. And we talked about last time hormonal control of reproduction, the 10-year challenge, and this guy who went from squeaky geek to stud. And hormones can do that kind of stuff. It's pretty amazing what they can do. I think about even, and this is not in agreement with their lifestyle, but even transgender people, after they take testosterone, if they're female to male, or estrogen along with some other things if they're male, they can look exactly like a female in a couple years, and it's kind of scary. Anyway, hormonal control of reproduction continued. Anabolism is the basis for all synthesis reaction. If you remember chemistry, synthesis reaction or combination reactions take two things and they put them together. Testosterone works based on anabolism. It causes muscles and bones to be built, and so once a male starts releasing testosterone, their muscles naturally start building, even though they're not really, they might not even be working out. I've known some maybe 9th graders or 10th graders who they don't even work out and they're just huge, and it's like, whoa, what on earth? Anabolism is something that they may be experiencing. Catabolism or catabolic pathways breaks down larger molecules into energy and smaller molecules, and you really don't want this to happen whether you're male or female, but anabolism is more likely to happen when you're male, and catabolism often happens when things are broken down to females after they reach menopause, because their levels of estrogen drop. Follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone affect both males and females. Helps control females' monthly cycle. In males, it controls spermatogenesis, release of testosterone. Inhibits the release of FSH and decreases testosterone in the blood. You can check more on that in your textbook, page 536. We're not going to go into too much incredible detail. We're going to wrap up this chapter on pregnancy, childbirth, stuff like that. The fertilized zygote is the basis of life, 100% genetically unique, contains DNA. Mom and dad don't even have the recombination and genetic mutations. Odds are, and I was listening to, well, let me just show you. I think it'd be really cool for you to see. They have many universities open free courses. I've taken some even from Yale, and they're just free. They even have the exams and everything. And I'm sure I could probably apply for credit for them. But I actually took a evolution and ecology course from them, which actually ended up strengthening my faith. And it was pretty interesting. And they had several lectures on mutations and how you are genetically different from anything that's ever been seen. You inherit about 5 completely new genes every generation. Ironically, the Yale professor said 2 or 3 of them are bad. So the mutations are not good. So anyway, that of course goes against evolution, and you could really segue that into a talk about the fall of man and how after the fall genetics is becoming worse and worse and worse. But anyway, most of the time only 1 egg's released. Sometimes 2 of them are released, and that's where you get fraternal twins that don't look alike, and that's because you have 2 separate eggs, and two separate sperm which fertilize those eggs, and those type of twins look nothing alike because they really have no genetic material that's shared besides, of course, what is from their mom and what's from their dad. Identical twins nearly have identical genes, not completely identical because of mutation, which happens, and as well as some other factors. Sometimes the mutations happen inside the body. Sometimes there's somatic mutations that happen outside the body. For instance, if you are overexposed to sunlight, you can get skin cancer or skin mutation. It just happens naturally along the course of life. Identical twins are based on genetic factors from the mom, not from the dad. So the dad could be a triplet, and he would have no effect on whether or not he will have twins or triplets. Child development: within 18 hours of fertilization, the zygote undergoes mitosis, become 2 cells, 4 cells, 8, 16 cells, and then eventually, about 2 days later, it forms this sphere called the morula. And I'm going to take this Skype call. I'll be right back. Anyways, I'm back. The next stage of development is called the blastula stage, where you have this inner layer formed, and you have a ring of cells called the trophoblast and an inner cell mass. The outer layer becomes placenta, umbilical cord, amniotic, whereas this inner cell mass actually becomes a baby. And of course, someone who is an evolutionary or otherwise supposed human rights campaigning for women, at least for abortion, will say, "Oh, that's not a baby. You can see that. It's just a clump of cells here." And regardless of when they say a baby actually becomes a baby, or when it's a clump of cells, this cell has completely unique genetic information, and the woman doesn't even know she's pregnant yet, so there's no ability to abort. Now, here's where especially people have an issue in regards to abortion. The neurula stage, the neurons, nerves, and receptors form within 3 to 6 weeks after fertilization, and organogenesis begins to develop. So 3 weeks in, okay, about 2 weeks in, you realize, hey, period's late, could be pregnant. That's when pregnancy tests start working. But most of the time, abortions don't happen within those times. Anyway, some people have detected a heartbeat in a child as early as 6 weeks after the egg was even released from the mature Graafian, as it was called, cells. And so just 6 weeks afterwards, we're talking a 3 or 4 week old, you could even detect a heartbeat. In some states do have heartbeat laws. Most people want, that are, of course, pro-abortion, want abortion all the way up to 26 weeks, whatever, until the baby could actually survive. Your textbook has an incredible picture. Even in some of the texts that I've read in college, I haven't seen some of these pictures. It has a picture of a 9-week-old baby. I do not have my textbook on me, otherwise I would show you on the camera. I would encourage you to look at that. It actually has, in a 9-week-old baby, this could still be considered an embryo, not really even a fetus. It has a very clear image, and you can see its bones developing. You can see all of it, even some of its muscular layers, some of its organs in development. It is unmistakably a child. Now, most of the time when you go to Google and you type in 9-month-old baby, you're actually going to get something like this, so just some computer-generated image. But looking at the actual image, you're dealing with something that you're like, wow, that's alive. That's a baby. And it's actually kind of moving. Child development, of course, there's various steps along the way. Sometime around 18 weeks, baby starts kicking. You can start feeling it. That was something else that was pretty moving while my wife was pregnant, was being able to feel the baby kick. And all my wife would have to do would be to drink cold water, and the baby would freak out. Which tells me, even at like 18 weeks, the child has the ability to respond to stimuli, which is one of the most bothersome things when people, even some learned people, will say, "Oh well, the child can't feel anything, so it's moral to abort." I say, but the neurons develop from 3 to 6 weeks. Like, oh well, they're not fully formed. I'm like, so if a neuron isn't fully formed, that means they're not a person. Like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, how about someone with a disease where you're not able to feel anything? And there are diseases like that out there. I cannot remember the acronym. It's like CIDS, I think. Disease. Let's see. No. I'm probably pretty close. Disease where you can't feel pain. CIPA. Congenital insensitivity to pain. They literally can't feel anything. Well, does that make a person not alive? The argument's flawed. And anyways, the neurons are developed, so at the very least, if the child was to be aborted, they would respond to what's going on. And one of the key functional characteristics of life is a response to a stimuli, which they do. They just do. First-hand experience, of a child at least at 17, 18 weeks, it responds to stimuli. And some states where it's legal to abort up to like 40 weeks, that's just crazy to me. I had a sibling, actually, that was born at 22 weeks. Died, unfortunately, but lived for a couple days until some lung issues took over. 23 weeks, it's still legal to abort that baby in many states in the U.S. My brother-in-law, Joe, I think, was born at 25, and he lives a pretty normal life. So, anyway, off my soapbox. After approximately 8 months and 3 weeks, parturition, process of childbirth begins, starts with labor. Child's hormones actually start labor, for the most part. So you're waiting on the baby. That's why they don't like to artificially induce labor, because a lot of times it's not like the mom's fault. It's, the baby's, and the baby, when it starts labor, does a better job than if artificially labor is started. Child realizes it needs more nutrients, it needs more space, it starts to release hormones, increasing oxytocin levels, causing contractions. Anyway, I've had like 7 Skype calls I've been ignoring, so I might as well get to them. I hope that you have a good day. Thank you for joining us for Chapter 16 on the reproductive system, and I'll see you guys later.